early 90s when I first came onto the Public Lands Council board, and we're starting to meet people and put faces to names. And I asked John O'Keefe, I guess, who's this Mike Byrne fella from California? He goes, he's probably the most connected guy you'll ever meet. And boy, that is true. You've heard the story about the 3 cell phones that he was packing around. I wasn't even carrying a cell phone there. He's got a cell phone. Walking through the halls of the Bureau of Rec, all those offices, and the secretaries coming out and go, hey, Mike, how you doing? I mean, it's just unbelievable the amount of contact that he had, in the note taking that he'd take. He'd grab a piece of paper and he'd have notes written up, and then he'd shove it in there and take it home, and then it's out there in the house someplace. He claims he knows where they are, but whether that's true or not, we'll never know. But Mike was very involved in the Public Lands Council. He not only served his term as Secretary-Treasurer, he ended up serving 4 years as Secretary-Treasurer. And then when he started moving up to the ranks, when he was Vice President, the President was unable to serve. So he pretty much ran that whole show for about 8 years. And I happened to get on the leadership when Mike was there, and we had a great time going through that. And Mike was also a recipient of one of the presidential awards for the Public Lands Council, so highly recognized in the public lands world. But we've had a lot of stories about Mikeism and being able to speak Mikey and all that. And if you've ever been around Mike, it's bad, but when Mike and Matt are together, they speak their own dialect, and you're sitting there confused. And I think earlier in the presentation, somebody said, raise your hand if you ever understood Mikey. Well, I can actually raise my hand, but there's a backstory to it. We were branding bulls one spring, and the squeeze chute come apart and knocked me upside of the head, and I was unconscious for about 12 hours, but I was out on my feet. So after a while, the wife got tired of me asking the same question every 5 minutes, so she loads me up, take me over, and they throw me in a hospital bed and say, he'll be fine as soon as he brain decompresses. And in the meantime, in that 12 hours while I'm out on my feet, I get a phone call from Mike Byrne. It's the only time in my life where I actually understood every word he said. In the 12 hours that I was unconscious, I remember that phone call. But everything's already been said. You've heard it. No need to be redundant. But I did have a slideshow here with some history that we put together back when Mike was outgoing president, and they wanted to know if I could do it again. So yeah, there's baby Mike for sure. And go ahead and scroll here, and then you see Mike there, raised in the hills of California, and early career pursuits. You've heard about Mike being part of the NCBA. Well, when he joined the band, his song was NCBA. But they threw him out of the band, and they changed the words, and that was the end of his career. So then he went on, did a few frock ripper poses there, trying to find his way, and then got into Western romance. And while he was doing that, he thought he'd rather get back to ranching. So, he got moved back to the ranch. Everything was going good. And here's some action photos. There's Mikey, headed out to check the cattle like the rest of us do. And, fixing the corrals, getting ready to ship there. It's a pretty modern looking facility. Headquarters there, moving the family in, things are going. So then he was dealing with the Forest Service, and he got to be Secretary of the Public Lands Council. We were having financial problems, so Mike said, why don't we just do like the government and print it? So we printed our own script here. Public Lands Council, Mike Byrne's there, and had some labor issues. And Mike says, I can hire all the help we need. I got these 2 gals that'll be willing to come to work. So that was some of the people we were looking at. I know you guys had a lot of fish issues. Mike told me one time, I don't know why we just don't gaff all the bastards. So, and he formed your local militia down here. If you see Mike there in the middle, my laser beam doesn't work, but you guys stood up to the government. That was a big deal. And what else we got here? It's with Arnold there. And the Tonight Show, things are going good. And, when Mike got to be the Public Lands Council president, of course, George wanted a piece of that action. So then he went and entertained some troops in Iraq, and there's some interesting headlines here that are still funny to this day, like this one right down here. Jeff Eisenberg, should he really have been hired? Funny every time. And PLC Secretary Krebs arrested. Quote, I thought Mike had the money. So Mike said he needed a press secretary, so he wanted to interview this candidate here. So anyway, it's taken Mike from the country to the Capitol. And Mike, I was glad I got to share some of that time with you. It was a great ride, ton of fun. You're a great, outstanding person, and I was glad to be a part of that. Thank you.